All right, everybody, what is going on? Good evening. I know I'm a little bit late. Usually I would have tried to get this video up a while ago, but I got caught up in stuff. Couldn't get to it until now. Doesn't really matter too much. Things are pretty slow right now anyway. I don't think that right now anyway, we're going to be dealing with rapid fire information coming out about the Seahawks that requires a bunch of quick videos. So, and not too big of a deal. And I know that these videos, especially when you're this deep, don't really do a lot for a lot of my audience, and I don't blame you, but we're already down to the end of the right guard pile. Again, I want to stress there are going to be some players that end up as right guards that are not considered right guards right now, but just working with the guys who were actually right guards in college, we're already down to basically the tail end of the third day. So this is late sixth or seventh round guys. But let's take a look and see what we got. So Jeremiah Wright's our first guy here, Auburn. Pretty good size. That's the main thing that's notable about him. He's 331, 6'5". Arm length is fine. So that's kind of the main thing that draws you in. And the draft network loves him. This might be a relic of an older big board. I don't know, but he was in their top 50. The aggregate puts him in the bottom half of the sixth round, though. And you can see the play over the last couple of years has been okay. He gave up a lot in pass protection last year, though. 5 sacks and 22 total quarterback hits, or pressures rather, and he wasn't graded that well. So one thing about Jeremiah Wright that's nice, one thing that stands out positively, is that unlike a lot of the guys we talk about in this range of the draft, where it's like, oh, they've got some raw talent, they've got strength, they can run block, but they don't have the proper technique to pass block effectively. Jeremiah Wright is actually pretty fundamentally sound in how he pass protects, and he's big and strong. So there's a little something going on here that I don't mind. He's got big pop into first contact. He's one of those guys that hits hard coming off the snap. He can anchor down to recover. He's got a good re-anchor that he can deploy when he's starting to get beat. He's hard to get around because he's so wide-bodied. He's got a very big frame. His leg drive is also good. He can clear guys out of the way for the run game. And there's a nastiness here that you don't see with some of the other guys. So Jeremiah Wright, I actually like him more than some people seem to. Now, his technique is still lacking when it comes to protecting a quarterback. He doesn't get out of control, but I think things like his hand placement still needs to get better. He is starting from a better place than a lot of guys that we talk about, though, so I don't want to get too down on him there, but there is work to be done. He's not very savvy when faced with more advanced fronts, twisting, stunting, blitzing. He struggles with all that stuff. He's also not an athlete. He's not really good in space. You try to ask him to play in space, you're asking for trouble. As soon as he leaves the phone booth, he loses his effectiveness. So he is a phone booth guard, needs to stay close to home, and that makes it a pretty simple read. He's pretty good. I like him, but you got to keep things simple for him, and it's hard to keep things simple at the NFL level. So if he's a scheme fit, if you're running gap or power or whatever, I could see him being worth a fifth, but if not, then you're just kind of drafting him for his size. And maybe a seventh round pick would be okay, but if he's not a scheme fit, then you can't put too much value here. Okay, next up we've got Fabi Nwaiwu of Oklahoma. And if we do draft him, I'll learn how to pronounce his name, but that's the best I can do right now. 23, decent size, almost 320 pounds, arm length very nice, over 34 inches, really good. Didn't test great. The vert was really bad. The 3-cone was okay. The 20-yard shuttle was okay. So not great testing, but not overall terrible. The vert is the only thing that was really bad. Both major big boards I use have him going undrafted. The aggregate puts him in the late 7th. You can see that his play over the last couple years was decent, kind of, sort of, but he missed a lot of time in 2025. So you're going to look at these numbers and think, oh, he was great in 2025. But he missed a lot of snaps. So the thing about Fabi that I like is that he's got a cerebral understanding of how to handle more complex assignments. You can put him in situations where he's got to pick up stunters, twisters, blitzers, all that kind of stuff. And I think that he does very well at that. He is quick out of his stance. He's somebody who isn't going to get beat because he was late getting up off the ground. He gets good movement in the run game, and it's pretty consistent. He's able to use his leg drive, and he's got a firm latch. His hands can kind of grab onto somebody, and without actually drawing a flag, just kind of stay stuck to him. So that's really good. That's really important. But this is another guy who is not really a mover. He doesn't cover space well. If you ask him to climb up to the next level or pull, you're losing effectiveness because he's not very good on the move. He's got poor recovery skills as well. Once he gets beat, it's hard for him to get back in the fight. And he's just not smooth or comfortable. He doesn't want to be put on the move. It's not just a matter of poor athleticism. He doesn't have the comfort level with playing on the move. And I feel like he can get bullied a little bit. He does have a firm latch, but if you bull rush him and you get the advantage on him, it's really hard to for him to recover. So there are some things that I like here. There are some things to call out here in a positive way. But there's just not enough here. He's not athletic. He's not that strong. He doesn't recover well. He's not comfortable in space. And he missed a lot of 2025. So I say UDFA. Maybe if you're running some kind of a power-based scheme, it's a little bit better. But even there, it's not great. Okay. Final guy for this video is going to be Anez Cooper of the Miami Hurricanes, who made the national championship game. Couldn't find his age. He's very, very big. Like, that's the first thing you notice here. He's big. He's got long arms, 10-inch hands. He's a physical specimen. CBS has him barely missing getting drafted. PFF has him barely in the top 400. I believe the aggregate has him just outside the draftable range, but right around that line between the 7th and UDFA. And you can see, over the last couple of years, he's played decent football, not over the top great. Some pretty decent pass protection numbers. Remember, Miami played extra games last year, but he did have 8 penalties, so you've got to raise a little bit of a red flag there. He's got the size, he's got the length. That's the main thing that you're going to notice positively here with Cooper. So he looks the part. He pops into contact with a good amount of power, hits with a lot of pop. He keeps mobile to stay in front of targets. So he doesn't necessarily play great in space, but he's able to at least keep his feet moving so he can stay in front of his man. He's also got a lot of toughness. And it's just hard to get around him because he's got so much length and he's so wide-bodied. But he's still not a great athlete. I still wouldn't ask him to play on the move too much. He's an oversetter when he's against a better pass rusher, which fortunately doesn't happen very much when you're a right guard. He plays too high. He's very tall, and he doesn't know how to sink the hips well enough, and he's not very effective when he's on the move. So this one's kind of fun. Just because of the size, right? Like, you look at a guy who's 334 pounds, you're like, okay, maybe I can work with that somehow. But I'd go 6th round pick. I just don't think there's enough here. He's not an athlete. He needs to learn how to play with leverage. There's too much going on here for me to go higher than that. And when you're talking about a zone scheme where a guy needs to play on the move a lot, maybe not even that. But 6th round pick. And that's it for the right guards. We'll talk about more offensive linemen later. But that's it for the pure right guards. Okay, see you guys later. Go Hawks. Everyone have a good rest of your day. Let me know what you think. And we will be moving on to a new position tomorrow.